everybody. It's Thursday. Guess what that is? Weigh-in, check-in. So if you want to find out how I did this last week, how I weighed in this morning, and what my goals are for this week, keep watching. Well, this morning I weighed in. Here's my little notebook. These are my notes from last week and for this week. So, you ready? I know I wasn't. So I weighed in this morning at 3 o'clock. Let's see, last week I weighed in at 239.2, having gained 0.4. This morning I weighed in at 238.6, having lost 0.6. So I lost that 0.4 plus a tiny little smidge more. Kind of disappointed, but you know, it is what it is. I know it's hotter than heck here, and my body is like holding on to fluid like nobody's business, okay? So, what did I do right? I got more steps this week. And again, thank you for Melody at Transforming Melody, because it's so simple, but I never really thought of it. The time I wait for my videos to save and convert for YouTube, and then uploading to YouTube, I've been walking. I've been walking them for the last few days, so that's really gotten my step count up, gets my fit point up, which I need that. I'm having trouble with stuff like that, so I need that, and it works really well for me because that's getting me an extra 30 minutes to sometimes an hour extra every day. And now I'm going to slowly add in, if I'm watching videos that I'm not, sometimes I usually watch the videos when I eat lunch, eat dinner, or I'm doing something. So if I'm not eating lunch or eating dinner while I'm watching the videos, then I'm going to walk. Excuse me, I got bit by a bug when I was in the garden today. Oh, itches. Anyway, so I've gotten more steps this last week. I hit my fit point goal, finally. It was raised last week from 61 to 69, and then last week I had missed it by I think 1 or 2 points. I finally hit it. I hit it on the nose, but I hit it. So my fit point goal was 69. I hit 69 exactly. Oh, excuse me. So I got my fluids in. Now I did have one day that was really low, but every other day was right on point. As far as eating, I did really good, and except for Monday, I stayed within my budgeted points, and I still had weeklies to use because I always plan to use some of my weeklies. I never used them all. Monday, I ended up using 7 more than what I budgeted, so those came out of the weeklies I had left. I still didn't use all my weeklies, but you know, what are you gonna do? They're there for you to use, so I'm not going to beat myself up over going over 7 on one day beyond what I've budgeted, when in actual fact that day budgeted a little less than what my daily average is. So here is a little clip of my filled in weekly overview board right here, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So I feel like I don't know if anybody caught my transformation video from earlier today or my video from my what I ate from yesterday, but I got some pretty to me crushing news on Tuesday, no, excuse me, early Wednesday, and really I was actually almost afraid to eat my lunch because I was afraid I was just gonna emotionally start eating instead of being mindful about what I ate. But if you watched that video, you know that I didn't do it. I headed it off at the pass. That day had a really mean potential, but I kicked it right square in the butt. It straightened out. We're doing good. For this week, I am aiming for a minimum of 10 fit points every day. Now, to hit 10 fit points every day, I have to walk 7,200 steps. Ideally, I'd like more than that, but right now, I'm aiming for 10 fit points every day. That will set me up to meet my fit point goal of 69. And if I can meet it a couple weeks in a row, then I'll raise it again. So right now, I'm aiming for 10 fit points every day. So as with that 10 points, like today I've already got 13. So I spent 45 minutes in the garden, but because it counts my steps, I did not count 45 minutes of garden. And we're talking, man, I sweat buckets because I literally got out of the truck from work, came in, let the dogs out, went right out into the garden. And it is close to 90 here, and I was dressed in jeans and a black t-shirt. But we have this huge storm coming. We've already gotten a little bit of it, but it's expected to get a lot worse. And we are in the middle of a lake, and we have cliffs on one side of the lake and then mountains on the other. So when the storm comes across the lake, winds and all, we get whomped. So I didn't want my bean plants and my tomato plants and my pepper plants and stuff like that to all break. So I went out, tied everything up, trimmed everything I could to reduce the kite effect, or I should say the sailing effect, where the wind will catch the plant and literally snap it off because it catches so much of the plant. It also helps, like for my tomatoes, it also helps them dry out, gives them more air, so it reduces rot. But anyway, that's something else entirely. So I went out and I spent 45 minutes storm protecting my garden as much as I could. Picked everything that was possibly close that might cause a problem. The bean plants, you can't stake them up, so I did pick the beans any beans that were close to ready. I picked them all. First beans of the season, I'm so happy. Picked my peppers. The tomatoes aren't even close to being picked, so I just trimmed the plants, staked them, tied them. So I spent 45 minutes doing all of that, and it's, a lot of bending, a lot of reaching, my gardens, they're big, okay, they're big. Someday I'll have to take you on a little tour, but right now they're huge. So I only counted 30 minutes of that in my activity points because it counts the steps I'm taking as well, and I don't want to double count, I don't want to over count. So I obviously am counting the steps, but I added 30 minutes instead of 45, and so far right now it is 4:15 p.m. and I have over 7,000 steps, and I have the added, I think it was, I want to say 3 or 4 points for the garden work that I did. Okay, so aiming for 10 fit points every day, aiming to keep my steps up. I ideally would like to get 8,000 steps every day, but as long as I hit my 10 fit points, I'm good. I want to keep my water up. There was one day I was really low. We're talking, I didn't even get 1.5 liters in. My aim is to get a minimum of 3 liters. I say that because right now it's really hot, so I'm sweating a lot. I'm doing a lot at work, working a lot around home, and I drink electrolyte water with sugar-free additive in it. So I need the electrolytes and stuff like that. And so it's time to do my 2-week meal plan and my 2-week grocery shop, so I'm going to be doing that. I don't know right now if I'm going to do a grocery haul, and I hesitate because I really just don't have that kind of space, but if I can manage it, I will do that. I'm also going to keep reading Women, Food, and God. Now, this book, I think I've mentioned this before, but this book that I've been reading, it is written by a woman who actually, at least in the beginning, I don't know about by the end, but I know in the beginning, she does not believe in God. She believes in a higher power, but not God specifically. While that bothers me a little bit, alright, it bothers me a lot bit, I wanted to see what her point of view was for this book, because this book was actually written for everybody. From the atheist to the devout Catholic. This book was written for everybody, and I wanted to see, I've had it for a few years, never really cracked the cover, and I wanted to see what it was all about, and actually it is quite good, I have to tell you. I wasn't so sure in the beginning. I'm sorry, but when someone tells me they just don't believe in God, I have to wonder where they're going with certain thoughts that they present. And I'm not saying I'm going to force God on everybody. I'm not saying that you're wrong if you don't believe, or if you believe in a different higher power. I am saying, for me personally, God is my go-to, and I'm a Christian through and through, and I will not apologize for that, but that is something else entirely. So I am reading Women, Food, and God, and it gets you to think about certain issues, from emotional eating to issues in your past you might have dealt with, or that you might be mentally dealing with and not realize, in a different way. And like I said, it's much better than I thought it was. I'm right, I think, half right in the middle of it, and I'm gonna do, if I can put it together, I'd like to do a book review on this when I'm done, and what I learned from this book, because I am learning a lot, not just about myself, but about a process that she deals with in general. So those are my goals for this week. Now, I am not going overboard on my goals this week, because on the off chance that you, well, go watch my Transformation Thursday video if you want to know the whole story. And I'll try to remember to link it down below, but it's going to be a rough few weeks. I can't focus right now on too many goals. I need to keep them specific, I need to keep them doable, and I need to keep them down to the most important ones for me right now. I need to make myself available, and I don't want to set goals that I won't be able to meet. So right now, these few goals are going to be my concentration. Oh, that being said, I am planning on a good week. I am gearing up for a good week. I've got a lot coming up, but I'm expecting nothing but good coming out of it. I plan on making these goals. I plan on doing what I need to make these goals, to make them happen, and to stay on track with everything going on. Now, I hope you had a good week and you're setting yourself up for success this week. I'm about to erase my weekly overview board and start fresh for today and through this week, and we'll see where this week takes me. I'll show you again next week what really happened in this board. So the board doesn't lie, the numbers are right there. Either you do good and you see it, or you suck and you see it. Okay, everybody, if there's anything I can help you with, be it a prayer or answer a question or anything else, feel free to let me know down below, and I will get to you as soon as I can. Have a great week. Have just a day full of blessings, because everybody deserves them.